Perfect. So what I'm going to have you do is just stand with your arm relaxed.
What do you think about Italy?
You called it quicker. Didn't really give it much time.
9.
Yeah.
If you want to just kind of raise your arm a little bit out of the way. Perfect. Thank you. 6. 4. So this device, it's just going to, you're going to breathe into the tube and we're going to have a nose plug on, and it's going to measure the oxygen that you take in versus the oxygen you expire and give us a number based upon specifically for you opposed to putting into a drawn out calculation. Great.
Here you goes. Bet.
Jason, how are you?
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Hey, Jason.
Hi, I'm Mark. How are you? Nice to meet you, Mark. Craig Griffin. Good to meet you.
New Jersey, you just always see me.
Hey. Hey. Nice to meet you. Great to meet you. Yeah. Glad you made it. Heard you had kind of some tough travels. Yeah. Well, you're here now.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean,
Got a nice
exactly.
bike.
Great new chassis.
Yeah. The best thing is I'm fascinated by stuff. What's that? Okay, yeah. It'll be.
So today we're at Carmichael Training Systems getting ready to do a lactate threshold and VO2 test on Mark Webber. Previous to this we did an RMR and a dietary analysis leading into this test.
That's the worst thing, the blood. Oh.
The pain is easy, but the prick's the hard part here.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. Yesterday you would have been. Carl kept looking out there to see who was lost in his number. Yeah. But yeah, no one's there. You're lucky.
Actually just injected his baseline blood sample to see what his lactate levels are before he even gets started, so we can see what his blood does as he increases throughout the test.
So once it's in there, just hold it where it's comfortable, kind of right there, and nice seal.
So Roger, here's your
You don't want to be able to breathe through your nose.
Can't talk back. Nice and relaxed. Be smooth. Numbers are climbing.
Going up.
Come on, Mark, keep it going.
Go.
Climbing. Hang in there with me. Be good.
Come on, Mark, come on.
In the bank. Be good. Be good. Big breath.
Numbers are going up still. Come on
Still
now.
climbing.
You
Come
got
on.
to keep going.
Let's get into this next stage. Let's go.
Roll down, man. Roll down. Good.
10 seconds.
Come on, Mark. You got it. You got it.
5,
Keep pushing. Keep pushing.
4,
Come on.
3,
Good, let's go.
2, 1. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Well done.
Good test.
I think that's one of our highest motorsports athletes.
Oh, yeah.
So it was good. And changing it are two different things. So if we do it right and we say, okay, this is a good neutral position, but it's different than your other position, that's not necessarily the best because we want the position you've been riding in the most and then make minor changes from there because we don't want any injuries to start.
And then making the most of coming back, you know, pulling up instead of if you're a bit too far forward, I can't really. I'm exaggerating it obviously, but when you're back a bit, you can sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, lower back's always been a bit of a thing for me, so that's why I don't like them too far.
We can get it.
Just right around the same time.
Yep.
Just a little bit, settle back in that saddle. Arms where you would just normally ride. And same thing, bottom hips. We're going to drop this plumb line down. What will happen is you want to see the exact same thing on this side. Bring it to parallel, try to keep your foot as natural as possible. Good. So let's go ahead and round it on the other side. So make sure.
So we didn't really focus too much on this workload here because we couldn't go out and measure. But now we can. Now we can go out and say definitively, whether you're in Australia or whether you're in Monaco, it doesn't matter. It's 240 watts. So,
you know, like this year, I noticed that we're going to harder tires. We go to harder tires all the time. And it's like we had hard tires, then they got away from it with the softer tires, and now they're going back to harder tires. And I like the softer tires because, you know, if to me you're running that tire, you could feel it giving up grip.
Yep.
I mean, you can't feel, you know, you can't feel puncture till it happens. You can't feel it blow out till it happens, but you can feel it lose.
Going off, yeah, it's losing.
And to me, that's where I like, hey, back off. You know, some guys.
The start of the race, when say the pressures are a little bit lower, start the Grand Prix, there's a big crash on the first lap, so safety car's out for 5 or 6 laps. You've got plenty of fuel on board, so now the pressures are, we can't keep the pressure, you know, the tyre wants to be loaded, but the pressure is still dropping a little bit. We have like sensors on the car, and the guys can see on the data that the pressure is a bit lower, so now the car's actually the pressure a bit lower, so then when we go back racing again, it's the shoulder.
How's it for you guys as far as your gut?
My wife makes me turn it down on TV because she's in like the 19,000 RPM. So, but he said he's most impressed with going into one braking, and he said it just the ground just rumbles, you know. He said that was like,
Oh yeah, the braking.
is that like?
And that's with medium downforce as well. I mean, when we run maximum downforce, so because I think if we run medium downforce,
Because it's straight away. It's always there's one place. There's always one place that they take pictures. It's coming up turn 3. You get your right sides up on the curb. And 2 goes off the ground. And you go. Bobby Labonte. BOBBYLABONTE. Small B.
Out there, it's just sort of rolling grasslands, you know, but whereas we have a good, we don't get as much snow either. We really don't get hardly any snow in winter.
it's pretty good at cooling itself. It's doing it right. I do sweat quite a bit.
do you know your weight?
Kilo and a half.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, that's fine, Rob.
It takes a while for the snow to melt.
Watch out, don't pass you.
Denton, MORRISDENTON.
And your position at AMD?
Vice President, Global Corporate Marketing. This is our second annual Cycling Meets Motorsports. Last year we had an event where we focused our efforts around our Formula One relationship with the Discovery Channel. This year, since we've added NASCAR as a technology partner to AMD, we've included some NASCAR drivers in addition to some Formula One drivers as well as Discovery Channel cyclists. I think that in the world of Formula One as well as in the world of NASCAR, what we're seeing is an evolution, almost a revolution of sorts, in terms of how the drivers are using fitness and using technology as a means for competitive advantage. So you see the guys that are really dedicated to their fitness are looking for ways to use technology and fitness in order to compete better with the others that are around them. And I mean, because these guys, they compete and they win and they lose in a matter of seconds.
Chris Carmichael. I'm the CEO and founder of Carmichael Training Systems. Chris is spelled C-H-R-I-S. Carmichael is C-A-R-M-I-C-H-A-E-L. With AMD's involvement in Formula One racing and NASCAR, it was a natural fit for AMD to come to us to see if we wanted to help some of the race car drivers. Obviously they're athletes as well, and the technology that we have with AMD's support and help applies obviously to the race car drivers, whether it's Formula One, NASCAR. We're able to take these guys, monitor key markers, and take this data and be able to analyze and come back with real training plans, real prescriptions around training, around nutrition, around hydration strategies that affect how these guys perform behind the wheel.
Weber, M-A-R-K-W-E-B-B-E-R. Well, I'm a good friend of Morris Denton, who works for AMD, and AMD have been a huge supporter of the Discovery team, and then the US Postal team before that, with all Lance Armstrong's success with the cycling of the Tour de France. And last year, in between Canada and India, we did a bit of a cycling camp, actually in Wisconsin, very close to the Trek factory. Got some nice bikes and all that sort of thing. I enjoy my cycling, so this year we said we'd go somewhere a little bit more picturesque, so we've come to Colorado Springs. And the guys have put an absolutely awesome camp together. You know, the cycling's been absolutely amazing. Some of the routes we've done has just been absolutely brilliant, and huge groups as well. You know, good group of people coming out with us. And also, the really interesting side of it that I was keen on was the training with Chris Carmichael, in terms of all of the numbers and the testing that took place. For me to extract my fitness training in the future with that is really exciting for me. So that's one of the biggest bonuses of this week for me. Yeah, obviously straight away in the morning we did the resting metabolic rate test to see just how many obviously calories or kilojoules I burn off when I'm just existing on the planet, even if just resting in bed. So that was 1,780 for those of you who are interested, but which is probably not many, but it's quite interesting just to know those type of things. So then we can work with our calorie intake during the day on top of my fitness training. And once we went from there, we did some skin fold tests to work out how fat I am and how much what weight I've got to lose. And then we did some more specific tests in terms of my condition, of course, the VO2 max test, the lactate threshold test. So then I've got now windows that I can specifically train in to know what to get out of my training, and make sure that the most important thing for me is obviously, and most people that don't have much time on their side, is to make sure the training is done correctly, and not wasting your own time by going out there and doing junk miles. So I've got lots of good information to draw from now and pull that all together with some good people here. Yeah, well, in Formula One especially, that obviously I can only talk about that because that's what I'm doing at the moment, but we sort of compare, I suppose, to probably fighter pilots in a way that we need to resist a lot of G-forces in the car, meaning that the cars go around corners at incredible speeds, and also the braking forces on the body. So that puts a huge amount of stress on the not only just the internal organs, but also your muscular system, your hips, your ribs, your shoulders, your neck, which will in turn elevate the heart rate. So a huge amount of cocktail of all the adrenaline and all that, the concentration that's involved is very, very similar to a fighter pilot. So you don't see many overweight fighter pilots cruising around. It's the same for drivers, in terms that you have to have that very good conditioning to race for 90 minutes or over, sort of up to 100 minutes on the limit, and we can lose up to 2 kilos, which is probably 2.5 kilos, so probably 6 to 8 pounds, I suppose, in a Grand Prix. So that's a lot of fluid that we lose. So it gives you an idea of how much physical exertion goes on. So the